Hey, this is Saflevari from LinkedInEarth.com and welcome to another video in the beginner series. In this video I'm going to teach you how you can find the chords to any scale, whether minor or major, in just 5 seconds. Well, maybe 10 seconds, but still very quickly. Now, it's just a simple formula, and there are 2 things you need to know in order to accomplish this formula. One thing is barred chords. Okay, just major and minor barred chords. Okay, A-shaped, A minor shaped, E-shaped, and E minor shaped. That's all. The second thing is a concept called relative chords, relative minor and major chords. For example, every minor chord has its own relative major chord. Every major chord has its own relative minor chord. For example, A minor and C major are relative minor and major chords. Why is that? Because their scales, the A minor scale and the C major scale, both have the same notes, only starting and ending at different places. Okay? For example, let's see. These notes, okay, are both the C major scale and the A minor scale, just starting and ending at different places. For example, the A minor scale and the C major scales both have the same notes. You see, you've just heard 2 different scales, a minor scale and a major scale, and both of them had the same notes. Okay, so every minor chord has a relative major chord. Okay, and the formula to find these relative major and minor chords is just a step and a half, 3 frets apart. Okay, for example, let's say we're playing A major. It's on 5, right? So let's go back 3 frets, 1, 2, 3, to fret number 2, and we have its minor relative, F sharp minor. Okay, let's search for a different one. Let's say we have B minor. Okay, now if we went back from major to minor, then we have to go forward from minor to major. So if we have B minor on 2, then we're gonna have to go 3 frets up, 3, 4, 5, to find its major relative, and it's D. Okay? That's it. It's just 3 frets apart, from minor to major, or from major down to minor. Okay, so let's begin. Let's say we want to find the chords for the C major scale. Okay, the C chord, E-shaped, with its base on the E bass, is at 8, right? Okay, this is C. Okay, on 8. So we have C. Now, that's the first chord of the scale. Below it, okay, or above it musically, below it physically, 1 string up musically, 1 string down physically. I like to talk about the physical aspect because we're visual people. So below it, A-shaped, is the F chord on 8, right? We have C right here. Below it, we have F, right? Now, 2 frets above the F, take the F chord 2 frets up, and you have G. Now, these are the 1st, the 4th, and the 5th chords of the scale. The blues chords, the rock and roll chords, the core chords of the scale, the 1, 4, and 5. So you know that you have 1, below it you have 4, and 2 frets above the 4 you have the 5. So you know that those are the major chords. You have C, F, and G, right? You have C, F, G. These are the 1, the 4, and the 5. Okay, and it's a very simple formula. It's one. It's the one on the E string. Below it on the A string is the 4, and 2 frets up on the A string is the 5. So it's 1, 4, 5. Okay, if you know how to play the blues, or if you've ever played a rock and roll song, you already know how to play this chord progression. Okay, 1, 4, and 5. Now comes the magic. If you know where the 1, the 4, and the 5 are, then you know where the 6, the 2, and the 3 are, because they're 3 frets back. Okay, there are 3 frets behind the major chords, and those are the minor chords of the scale. So let's go from 8, 3 frets down to 5, and we have A minor. Okay, they're all minor chords now. So we have A minor, which is the 6. Above it we have D minor, which is the 2. And 2 frets above that we have E minor, which is the 3. So there we have it. We have the 1, 4, 5 major chords, and below them, 3 frets below them, we have 3 minor chords, the relative minor chords of those chords. A minor, D minor, and E minor. Okay? Don't worry if you still haven't understood it to the fullest. I'm gonna explain it. We're gonna talk about the minor scales as well. We're just talking about the major scale first because for some reason major comes first. So, okay? Now, if this is 1, 4, and 5, and these are 6, 2, and 3, okay? And if you look at it, it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1 again. Now, where's the 8? This is the 8. Where's the 7? Where's the 7th chord? Now, I'm assuming that you're a beginner. So, for now, we're not going to talk about the 7th chord because the 7th chord is a diminished chord. It's a diminished chord, and for harmonic purposes, I prefer to talk about the minor 7 flat 5 chord, which is a half diminished chord, because it sounds a little better than the diminished chord for the beginner ear. But let's save that for a different lesson because I want to keep this as simple as possible. Because most chances are, if you're a beginner, you're not going to play a diminished chord anytime soon. You, in all of the songs you're going to play, you're going to play minor chords, major chords, 7th chords, minor 7th chords. You're not going to play a diminished chord yet. Okay? So let's just leave the diminished chord, the 7th chord of the scale, out of this. Just for now, there's going to be another lesson about more complex chords. Okay, this is just about the formula on how to find the harmonic chords of the scale, the diatonic chords of the scale. Okay, now if this is 1, 4, 5 and 6, 2, 3, okay, then this is both the C major scale and the A minor scale, because if this is the C major scale, it's also 1, 2, 3, the A minor scale. Okay, so in both scales we have A minor, D minor, E minor, C major, F major, and G major. Okay, now the attributes, the place in the scale changes. Now, if we're talking about the A minor scale, then the minors are 1, 4, and 5. Okay, and the majors are 3, 6, and 7. Okay, the diminished chord becomes the 2nd chord of the scale, so we'll leave that out. Okay, so in the minor scale, you have 1, 4, and 5. And you have 3, 6, and 7. Okay? Now, this formula is particularly good for composition, because if you want to know the chords to your scale immediately, then all you have to do is just find the 1, 4, and 5, and then transpose that 3 frets down or up for the relative chord. Okay, if you're in a minor scale, then take it up 3 frets for the major chord, and if you're in a major scale, take it down 3 frets for the minor chords. But there's a different version for this. Is just one of 2 versions of the scale. Why? Because you can start the scale with an A-shaped bar as well. Okay, now let's say that we're at the let's take the E major scale, okay, on 7, okay, A shapes. Now our bass note is on A. Okay, so how do we find the 1, 4, and 5? It's very simple. It's kind of a mirror image of the previous pattern. If the previous pattern was down 1 string, up 2 frets, then this time, let's say we're at 7, okay, on the E major scale, then this time we're gonna go up 1 string to the E string and back 2 frets for the 4, okay? And then we're gonna go 2 frets back up for the 5. Okay, now an easier way to look at it was that before we had 1 and below it we had the 4. Now we have the 1 on the A string, the base of the first chord of the scale, of the root chord, and above it we have the 5. Okay, so it's 1 and the 5 is above it, so the 4 is 2 frets down. Okay, so we have 1, 4, 5. Okay, 1, 4 is 2 frets down 1 string, and you go back up 2 strings for 5 to the same fret that the 1 is at below it. Okay, I hope you got it. So, if we have the E major chord, we have 1, we have the 4 on the 5th fret, okay, 2 frets back, we were at 7, okay, so we have 4 on the E string, the bass is on the E string, so it's E shaped, and we have 5, 2 frets up, so we have E, A, and B, okay? So these are 1, 4, and 5. Now, let's take this back 3 frets, okay, for the minor chords. So now we're at 4, fret 4, fret 2, and fret 4 again, for the 6, 2, and 3. Okay, and we have C sharp minor, F sharp minor, and G sharp minor. Okay? I hope you're following. If not, go download the diagram from the website after we're done with the lesson and just watch the lesson again. It will make sense in due time. Just practice this. It just takes time to see it on the guitar, to visualize it. So, we have, okay, this, which are the 6, the 2, and the 3. Okay? So we have 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1. And as I said before, let's forget about the 7 right now, which is the diminished. And let's talk about the minor scale. Okay? Let's talk about the minor scale. This now is the C sharp minor scale as well. Okay? So the C sharp minor scale has C sharp minor, F sharp minor, and G sharp minor, which are the 1, the 4, and the 5. Now let's go up 3 frets to 7, and we have E, A, and B, which are now the 3, the 6, and the 7. okay, of the minor scale. And that's it. That's how you find the chords to the scale in 5 seconds. Let's say you let's practice this for 2 seconds, okay? Just one example, and then you go download the tab from the website, of course, for free. The tab, it's not a tab, it's a diagram, a series of diagrams, and then you can rewatch this until you get it, and then it's a piece of cake, okay? It takes time to visualize it and learn how to see it, but then you can't unsee it. You just know how to find the chords to the scale. So, so again, let's take the B minor scale, for example. Okay? B minor scale. So we want to find the B minor scale. Okay? Now, its base is on the A string, so we need the second shape of the formula. So we have B minor, which is the 1. We want the 4 and the 5, so the 5 is above it. Okay, we have F sharp minor, and the 4 is 2 frets back. We have E minor. Okay? So we know we have B minor, F sharp minor, and E minor, which are the 1, the 5, and the 4. Now we go 3 frets up, okay, from B, which is on 2, so it's 3, 4, 5, and we have the same formula, only this time with major chords. So we have D, A, and G. Okay, so we know that we have D, A, G, F sharp minor, E minor, B minor. Okay? And we also know that this is also the D major scale. So we know that we have D, D, G, A, B minor, E minor, and F sharp minor. Okay? Now let's take something from the first shape. Let's go for G sharp major. Okay? G sharp major. So we have G sharp major. We have the 4 below it, it's C sharp major, and we have D sharp major, 2 frets above it, that's 1, 4, and 5. Now let's take this 3 frets down, okay, from 4 to 1, and we have F minor, B flat minor, and C minor, okay, on 1 below it, and 2 frets above it, minor chords, which are the 6, the 2, and the 3. Okay? So that was quick because I'm already used to that. So I just gave you an example on how quickly you can find it. So the G sharp major scale and the F minor scale both have these chords. G sharp, C sharp, D sharp, F minor, B flat minor, and C minor. Okay? And it's also got the diminished second on the minor scale and the diminished 7 on the major scale, but I promise we won't talk about that because this is a beginner lesson, and let's leave the diminished chords out of it just for now. And we've found the harmonic, the melodic chords, even though a diminished chord is very, very melodic, but it takes time until you hear it, before you can get used to the diminished sound. The diminished chord is very special, but let's leave that out for now because that's a more complex harmony. We're just talking about major and minor chords. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Please subscribe to my channel, be my guest, and you're very welcome here. It's a very nice community, and I upload a new lesson every couple of days or so, or at least that's my aspiration. And go download the diagrams from the website, and if you want to give something back for this free lesson, for any free lesson I upload, just click the donation button. I'd appreciate any donation whatsoever. And I'll see you the next lesson, whether it's a fingerstyle lesson or an electric guitar lesson or an acoustic guitar lesson or rhythm lesson or another beginner lesson. I'll be very happy to see you again. So just share this lesson with your friends, tell people about Lick and Riff. That's all I ask in return, and have fun, enjoy, and practice this. This is one awesome formula, and I really hope that you understood what I was talking about. If not, rewind the video, just replay it and watch it with the diagram next to you, and you'll get it in no time, because even though this looks a bit complicated at first, it's a lot easier than you think, because the guitar is a visual instrument and it's really easy to transpose everything on it and to visualize things on the fretboard. So I'll leave you alone for now. Go get this under your fingers, have fun, and just be patient. Work a little bit every day and you'll get better in no time. I'll see you in the next lesson. Thank you very much for watching.